All right, guys, so here's kind of what I made the channel about. If it takes off, it does. I don't, just something to do. I like watching Twin Sticks up there in Canada. He's pretty cool. And then Easy Rider, I like watching them guys. So I figured what the heck, I'd give it a shot with something a little different. This is going to be my project. It's a 1982 Freightliner FLC. I've already got the hood off. It's at my house. The motor was out of it. It come with a big can, or no, sorry. It come with a Cat 3406A. The one that was in here, it's long gone. But the gentleman I bought this truck from, he did have another one that come out of another truck. So it's at my house. I've got it almost tore down. I'm ready to send off to the machine shop, have the block done. It's got the 63-inch bump. Is that what that is, I think? Anyway, it's going to be kind of a long project. Between money and time, like Twin Sticks was saying, if you're going to do one of these projects, it takes a considerable amount of money to do one, and he is not wrong. Of course, I started on what I feel like is the most expensive part first, which is the engine. So the interior is about like what Twin Sticks' trucks are when he brings them home. They're it's a little rough. The guy that I bought it from said the last time he was in it to move it around the yard, a raccoon come flying out of the sleeper. And from the looks of it, this has kind of been his home. So we'll get it gutted, get it taken care of, kind of start going back with it. I don't have any plans of running this truck every day. It's just going to be kind of my little project, my little toy. So I'm caging the brakes right now. I'm getting ready to take these stacks off of it. I've got a local record company. They're out on a call right now. Supposed to be here this morning to load it on their landau, and we'll take it to the house and get it unloaded. I'm gonna start on the motor, get the motor going, get it running, get it in the truck, maybe take this transmission out. It's got a 13-speed in it. Probably take that out and have it kind of gone through, make sure everything's good to go on it, and then we will, I don't think I'm gonna take the rears apart. I'll probably just drain the oil, see if there's anything on the dipsticks, kind of give it a little look over, and put fluid back in it. We'll probably just run those. The guy I bought it from a shop, and it was at the shop because the gentleman that did own this truck, it was there having some motor work done. That's why the motor's not in it. He was having some motor work done to it, and he actually passed away, and so they sold the truck. The motor got sold long before the truck did. This guy bought the truck, and now I'm hopefully going to give it new life. I'll keep you updated, and when the record gets here, I'll maybe show a little more video if we're not in a hurry of it getting loaded and headed out. Well, here it is, guys. It's finally at the house. It's about a week later right now, actually. I didn't get any video of us loading it or unloading it. I was kind of trying to just get it done. I'm not really good at this videography. I'm just doing it on my phone for right now, so I don't have a tripod and everything to set it up. Got a couple, or I guess a picture of it I might throw in here or something if I can figure out how to edit this video. But I got it home. It's just parked outside. Like I said in the earlier video, I've started on the motor already. I really want to get it done first. I feel like that's kind of the heart of the whole operation. I can get it done and get it running, and I'd like to get everything done to where I can at least, roll it forward and backwards, pull it in and out. I can actually get it in my shop and work on it instead of out here in the mud. I'm not as brave as Mr. Twin Sticks. Coming here to the barn, I've got the I got the engine as well. Transmission's out of it, sitting there. I'm not really as worried about that at the moment. Really want to get this engine finished in the truck. Got it tore apart, got the head off of it. Looking for rebuild kits for it right now. Trying to decide which machine shop I'm going to go to, I guess. I don't know. I'm not an engine guy, so I'm going to tear it down. I've got a book. I've already got it, and it goes over the tear down and kind of the in-frame process. And I think I'm just going to try to build it myself. But I do want the block. I don't want to spend all this money and all my time and everything, and the block either have a crack in it or a hairline crack, or something like that I can't see. And then, have issues after I've already put an in-frame kit in it or an out-of-frame kit, whatever I decide to go with, and have issues with it. So I'm going to finish taking all the timing gears off, take the injection pump off. I actually found a company that said that he would actually work on, I guess those are cast iron. They're a little bit different than the newer ones. He said he can still do those. I want to send it to him so we don't have kind of like a runaway situation or a no start because there's some springs or some plungers or something in there messed up. So I'll have it rebuilt. I want to get some reman stuff or new parts to go back on it. I really don't want to have to deal with it again once I get it in the truck, like the starter. I haven't tested it, but even if it tested good, I'm probably just going to go ahead and throw a reman on it. It's already out of the block, or out of the truck. It's off of the block. It'd be so much easier just to put it on out here than it will in the truck. So I'll put it on, either have a reman oil pump. I don't know if there's any seals in it, or if you can rebuild them, or if you just go to CAD or aftermarket somewhere and get just like a rebuilt one and put on it. Same way with the water pump. Those are kind of the major components. The head, somebody did a hack job of painting that white the last time they rebuilt it, but the head is actually cat yellow, so it's had a new head at some point in its life. Probably send it over to the machine shop as well and have them clean it all up. I don't know anything about machining. I don't know if they, I've watched some videos on YouTube of some guys. I don't know if they vacuum check them and make sure everything is good. And if it's not, then they will repair like the valve seats in the, I'm not sure. I know there's a seal that runs through, but I'm not for sure if they just go ahead and rebuild the whole thing. If he takes it and says, hey, it's a good head, but I can go ahead and rebuild it for X, we'll probably just go ahead and go through that process. That way it's done. I don't know if they mill the top of this head. I think deck it. I'm going to call him and see if he can pull these pins out. That's for coolant. That one is for coolant, and then there's guide pins. And I know if he decks it, when I'm going back together, I'll have to count, or not count, but measure the counter bore. So I'll figure all that out. I'll video that as it's going back together. Like I said, I am not a professional engine man, but I bought this to just be a project. I feel like there'd be a major sense of enjoyment and pride getting this thing back together and just knowing I did it myself. And then when I am driving it or running it up and down the road and I do have an issue, I kind of know, hey, I remember this going together like this. So we'll get all these parts cleaned up. The rest of it, all the stuff's kind of scattered everywhere and down there. I'll get everything gone through, get all these gasket surfaces cleaned up. Turbo, same thing probably with it as the oil pump and the water pump and things like that. Probably just get a reman when I hear something dragging in this one. In-frame come with the new liners and bearings and everything. So I don't know, maybe you guys can leave it in the comments and I'll try to figure out how to get on there and read the comments. I talked to about 3 different machine shops. One of them, and now I understand that the stuff is very expensive on these engines, but one of them was almost 10 grand or north of that if they did everything. And he said everything included a Magnaflux, decking the head, or decking the block of the top of the engine, excuse me. That was completely going through the head, line boring the cam, line boring the crank with the caps, polishing the crank, polishing the cam. And then he said something about, I guess these surfaces wear out down here where the seals ride for the liners. He said they could machine that out, put a new insert in it, and then remachine that to spec. Obviously he would cut the counter bores. So I realize that's a lot of machining, and those machines aren't cheap, and neither is skilled labor. He said that this was a very old block, so with today's technology and machines, he would get it even closer to spec than factory, which if from factory it ran for however many miles. I feel like as long as everything's straight and good to go, maybe I don't need to do all that. I know engines are pretty finicky, and I've also got a local shop here, and I love spending my money local. I've got a small business myself. He said he can handle this block, but his machines aren't quite big enough, so he would have to do some like put it in his machine and then move it and then finish it. He said he's done a few of these big blocks and a few of these heads, but he said if we went to doing any line boring, he's not set up to do anything this big. So he could check, for it to be true, but if it wasn't, then I was gonna go ahead and have to send it to another shop. So I don't know if taking it to 2 different machine shops, one's probably going to do it one way, and then the other one's going to look at it and said, well, I would have done it different. So I'm still deciding on that. Hate to just throw it back together as it is. From what I understand from the guy that I bought it from, it was running. It was a running engine. It had just had a rebuilt, but then they started having problems with it almost immediately. He said they had already tore it down, and I got some of these parts, already. So I'm already trying to figure out kind of what goes where, because they had most of it tore down. But he said when he took the head off, that there was actually a zip tie laying across the head gasket, and it looked like somebody had just cut it off at the edge of the block. So they were having some issues with that, and then just pulled the engine and found a different engine to go back into that truck. So he said it was running, so I would imagine everything's good to go, and it just had a rebuild. Of course, who knows who rebuilt it, how good of a job they did. If they left a zip tie on something as big as the head gasket, that would lead me to believe that who knows what else they kind of messed up. So anyway, thanks for watching this one. I'll try to kind of update as we go. This is going to be the next step, is getting everything off this block and getting it sent off. I'm sure it'll take several weeks for them to machine it. After they get it machined, we'll find a rebuild kit. I've been calling some companies. Cat told me that they could piece together one, but they don't actually just have a rebuild kit. But they could try to find some parts. I don't know, we'll have to look elsewhere, I'm sure, aftermarket. But anyway, thanks for watching, guys, and see you on the next one.